Hello there, it's Akin, Aregbesola, your success coach. And today we'll be looking at the topic principle. Principle. What is principle? By principle, we mean God's defined standards of doing things, God's defined ways of working with man. And principles come in the form of when you do this, you will get this. When you observe this principle, you would gain this benefit. When you keep this principle, you will get this reward. So that's the form that principle takes. And God works exclusively according to his principles. God does not cut corners. He is not a respecter of man. He is not in a rush or in a hurry to please man. Therefore, even when he is ready to bless, he blesses according to principles. In other words, if you pray to be a millionaire, for example, God is not going to give you millions just to answer your prayers. He's going to direct your path as answer to that prayer onto his principle, and then encourage you to keep that principle, so that ultimately, by keeping the principle, you will reap the reward, which is the millions that you have asked. So, because of principles, one cannot reap where he has not sown. One cannot take glory where he has not suffered. And also, because of principle, one evil will always attract punishment. Evil will always attract suffering. Just like good will always attract benefits and rewards. So, nature is the system of God that helps God ensure that principles work 100%. And because of this confidence that principles work 100%, that is the origin of our faith. Knowing that because we have paid a price, because we have made the necessary sacrifice, because we have observed the appropriate principle, definitely nature will ensure that the benefits, the rewards of that principle will be delivered to us. So, the wise one knows that fulfillment, prosperity, and all the good things that we desire in life is not as a result of our physical work alone. Yes, we need to work, because by work we prove our faith. But work alone, physical work alone, is only one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is spiritual work, and by spiritual work we basically mean keeping principles. So when you complement your physical work with your spiritual work, then you are moving away from the realm of struggle. the realm of being comfortable, what is the best that physical work alone can deliver, to the realm of wealth, to the realm of prosperity, because you are not just depending on your physical work and effort alone, you are also now depending on principles, and you are exploiting the benefits contained in principles to amplify the results of your efforts, your physical efforts. So, to attain prosperity, one must move beyond physical work and depending on your brain only, to the realm of actually getting the spirit, the spiritual side to support your physical efforts by obeying and observing principles. There are many principles, but the summary of all principles is what is referred to as the golden rule, which says that whatsoever ye would that nature should do for you, that God should use men to do for you, go out and do that same thing for others. This is the law. This is the summary of all the laws. This is the summary of all the works of the prophets combined together. Whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, go do same unto men. And in this principle, in this golden rule, lies the solution to all of man's problem. That's where the solution is. So whatever I need, whatever I'm looking unto God for, the only way, or one of the most effective ways that God will hear my request, is for me to go and do unto others that which I wish Him to do for me. So, what am I looking for? I have a problem with accommodation. I'm looking for accommodation. I want to be able to afford a decent accommodation for my family. But I do not have the resources to afford the decent accommodation that I desire for my family. So what do? I exploit this principle. Whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, go do same unto others. So I look for a family whose rent I can afford conveniently. So if I'm looking for rent of 500,000 naira, for example, rather than struggle by my own effort to raise the entire 500,000, I look for a family whose rent is probably 30, 50,000 naira, and I take that burden upon myself to ensure that this family has roof over their head regularly. By that sowing, by that spiritual investment, nature would ensure, God will ensure through nature, that I never lack a roof over my head and over my family. So because I have done unto someone else that which I desire, God would ensure that I never lack as far as that realm, that specific desire is concerned. So if I want to go beyond rent to owning my own accommodation, to owning my own house, I simply exercise that principle. If I cannot build a full house for somebody who genuinely needs a permanent accommodation, if I cannot build a room, if I cannot afford to buy a kitchen, then at least let me contribute even a block or some roofing material to the building of accommodation for somebody else. And because I have done that with love from the deep of my heart and according to my true capacity, He would also ensure by principle that ultimately my own accommodation is delivered to me. This is a principle. And by the time we work with these principles and we know for certain that we will get the results and benefits attached to this principle, then we can go to sleep knowing for sure, knowing for certain that in due course, at the appropriate time, we will reap the reward of our labor. That is faith. Knowing for certain that because we have done something in terms of paying a price, in terms of observing a principle, in terms of making the appropriate sacrifice, that indeed our own benefit, our own reward would also come to us sooner or later. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. I would suggest you go to my website www.aregbesolaffoundation.org aregbesolaffoundation.org for more resources, more videos, read articles that will help you prepare your mind, develop your mind to that level where your mind begins to attract to you the good things of life, and you are no longer walking by struggle and by your effort alone. You are also now making principles work for you, and that means that where you should get to as fruit for your investment, you will now get multiple because you are sowing on a fertile ground and you are no longer walking by your own effort. The spirit side is now also supporting you, and you can actually move from just being letting principles work for you to a higher level where your mind has been developed to a level where it can directly connect with your creator, and your creator would lead you, would teach you via meditation exactly what to do. You will fill you with so much knowledge, you become wisdom. At that level, we talk about prosperity. He will give you these principles upon which to meditate day and night. And you live, you don't just do these things once. You don't observe principle once and you expect them to work. If you observe them once, they will also work for you once. You make observation of principle your lifestyle. That way, the benefits will continuously follow you. And people will wonder, people will think, oh, how lucky. But they do not understand the principles that you have observed when you observe them. But that which you have done in secret, when the reward comes, it will be in open, and everybody will know that indeed there is something more that you are doing that they do not know about. It is observation of principle. Alright, so that's it for today. Remember, hook up with me on my social media. Go to my website, Aregbesola to get details about how you can do that and how you can continuously listen and watch my programs until your mind is developed to a level where it begins to attract prosperity to you. Thank you very much. See you at the next episode. Bye for now.